Welcome in to the USL PRO Playoff Preview. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by David Wagner as we take a look ahead to this weekend's action as the Richmond Kickers host the Harrisburg City Islanders this Saturday night at City Stadium. And the Kickers are looking to reach the USL Pro Championship game for the first time. The City Islanders looking to make a return trip after reaching the final in 2011. And both teams are coming off very solid victories. Richmond 2-1 after extra time against the Charleston Battery, and Harrisburg with that memorable 1-0 upset of Orlando City last Saturday night. Now, this matchup, though, the Kickers would appear to have the edge. They took victory in all three of their games against the City Islanders in the regular season. They've been playing very, very well at City Stadium throughout the year. Are they the favourites to advance to the championship game?
On paper, you would certainly think that. They had a great record against Harrisburg during the season. They came back and had a good win last week against a very good Charleston side that had been playing very well as of late. But you look at the fact that Richmond hadn't been playing too well in the lead up to the playoffs. They didn't have the greatest August. They didn't have the greatest September. And Harrisburg had a great win last weekend. You have some fantastic momentum. You know, they're going to be riding high after going into Orlando, getting a fantastic win there. Not only did they get the win, but they also kept the clean sheet in that effort as well. So a very good performance for them. But going in, all the tangibles that you talked about before seem to add up to favor Richmond in this contest.
Well, the City Islanders, as you mentioned, will come in with some confidence after that victory against Orlando. Their dynamic attack certainly looks as though it should pose the Kickers' defence some problems. I think the key matchup here, though, may be in the centre of midfield, where you have the City Islanders' Jan Ekra and Jose Baril, who was so good last week against Orlando, going up against two outstanding midfielders in Luke Vercalone and Samuel Asante for the Kickers. Is this going to be the key matchup in this contest?
I think the midfield is certainly going to be an important battle. Last week, you had a very composed performance from the Harrisburg midfield. They came out, and that was really, their game plan was to stay organized, fend off that Orlando attack. We know they can wreak so much havoc up top. And Richmond has a very similar attack. You have a great composed midfield that's going to sit there, move the passes around, fend off any attacks, and then get it up to those forwards. Not just the forwards, but also George Davis IV, who's caused so many problems for defenses this season. So I think it's going to be really important for Harrisburg to counter that and be solid defensively. Now, they did that last week. Can they do it again this week? We'll have to see.
Well, the Kickers were in this position last year. They had a home semi-final against the Charlotte Eagles, but they got upset. Is there something that Lee Calishaw and his squad will be able to pull from that game and apply to this Saturday's game as they look to advance to their first championship game?
I think Richmond will certainly know that you can't underestimate an opponent, especially after a great victory for Harrisburg this week and going down and upsetting Orlando. So I think there will be certainly no underestimating them again after what they did last week. But going into this thing, I think that Richmond's just going to come out and look to play their game. And if they do that, I think they'll be just fine.
Well, this Saturday's matchup at City Stadium should definitely be an exciting one. We hope you'll join us for all of the action on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, and stay up to date with news and updates throughout the playoffs through social media. You can follow us at USL Pro on Twitter, and you can also follow us on Facebook, Google+, and Instagram. We hope you'll join us on Monday as we take a look back at all of the weekend's semi-final action. But until then, for David, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us.